So my last video cut me off, so I'm going to get back to looking at finance stocks. That's what I'm looking at. I'm just going to quickly recap what I was looking at. So I was thinking about sector rotation. That's what I was actually looking at. So what have we had in this last little bit of time? Let's just have a look. So yeah, consumer discretionary, yeah, pretty bullish. Look at that for a nice, beautiful candle. And yeah, stuff like comms, QQQ, tech, looking pretty good. But what I always get a bit suspicious by, I suppose, sector rotation is obviously a thing, but anything that kind of grasps or jumps far past 8 EMAs, I'm always a little bit kind of thinking pullbacks. What kind of pullbacks are we going to get? And I think it was Dan the chart guy illuminated me, I think, somewhat on sector rotation. So when one sector rotates in, obviously another one can be rotating out. And the relationship I'm interested in is this relationship between QQQ, which is doing pretty well, to be honest, and finance. But what I like about finance, and this is my hypothesis/thesis, is tech stocks have gone a long way. They've taken us quite far. We were looking at my previous video. We were looking at stuff like app, even bits like Apple. Look at these D1s. Look pretty good, but they are pretty far from the 8 EMAs. I don't expect them to collapse back down to it, but maybe to compress. Even Amazon, that's consumer cyclical. But yeah, that's where my thesis is coming from. So I'm looking at what sectors are basically not weak. I'm not super interested in sectors that are still kind of falling down a little bit. So I kind of want sectors that maybe have found some support, and we can kind of see that in looking at the ETFs for that. So are these sectors that found support? Not really. XLP is like, well, okay, yeah, it's not too bad. So maybe we should look at some associated with that. So you got cost, Walmart stocks are doing pretty well actually, DG. But what I'm actually interested in looking at today is to do with finance. So when QQQ seems to go up, finance seems to maybe go down a bit. So yeah, I think I mentioned Dan the chart guy kind of mentioned this relationship between QQQ and finance. So yeah, so finance has been compressing, and I've been like, interesting, is how I found it. And I always like these sorts of things when it's like, interesting, because you can kind of grab on something and then kind of run with it. But yeah, looking at the filter I set up, so I've set up, and I'm just looking specifically at this sector. So there's a good options in Zenbot for that, so we can just look at sectors if we wanted to. So today I've just been looking at sectors. So market cap 2 billion, options delta more than 60% calls. I am interested in looking at this more, so I've just got this turned on just for the time being, but we can check that out in a second. Minimum price $10, and I'm looking for stocks above the SMAs. Some good relative volume against SPY, and yeah, a high minimum average volume. I'm actually going to change it to 1.5. I sometimes have it to 1.5, but I'm going to set it to 1.5, and then I'm going to save that. So we have a little list of stocks here. Again, my usual, what I try to do is cast a wider net and then manually review these stocks. And I've added some relative strength columns, RVOL, and yeah, some earnings dates here as well, actually, because this is why, because 324%, now I know it's an earnings. So I'm like, I'm not too interested in earnings. So I think I've asked Storm, like, can we maybe try to ignore some of those earnings ones? I probably could do with that filter actually, but I just know now that TD, which I can't actually remember what TD stands for, but is, yeah, scratched off my list already. But yeah, RVOL, that's what I'm interested in and what I like. So I'm actually going to copy the list and then look at the list, but the couple that jump out at me are NDAC. Just maybe looking for some greens across the board as well. Okay. Nothing in particular. AXP I think I've looked at today, but what I usually do, so I like to use Zenbot for my scanning to see what I can find. I've got different long scans here, but I just wanted to kind of make it a bit specific to finance today, actually. And oh, you know what I forgot to talk about, didn't I? Was the flow. So I know Storm's introduced this, but this is kind of just looking at options flow. So seeing what calls are and puts, and there's actually a chart. So for those of you that do much more options trade than I, this is probably a good one for you to look at. I've honestly not had time to look at this yet, but it's interesting to look at, and what it looks great. And more data is always good. So I tend to just look at this bit for the time being, but get a bit of bullishness. Not all of these are working, but we're getting there, and Storm is improving the system. So onwards and upwards, more tools the better. That's what I say. But I'm just going to press the wrong button. So I'm going to paste these in, because I like to do most of my stuff in TC 2000. So I'm looking at relative strength is what I'm looking at. Am I interested in one that's gone up that far? No, not really. What I would usually do is set alerts for a lot of these, but I am not going to do that today. Above the SMAs, so yeah, Ally's done okay. Climbing up, maybe found support at the 200, so could be a potential option. But I'm just going to kind of zip through a couple of these to see what we find. And what I'm looking for is good D1s, stable D1s, and those that are possibly finding support on EMAs or potentially the 15 EMA as well. So yeah, hard to find a bit of compression here, and I think sometimes I need to adjust my amount. 2.5 billion, not the highest, is it, to be fair? So this is what I'm trying to avoid. Like, what? How do you trade that? That's when I look at those sometimes. That is a messy piece of junk, isn't it? XP. Okay, interesting. So above this anchored VWAP, had a bit of a climb up, but is now compressing again, and actually had a good day here, didn't it? If we look at that, so just looking at strength. So this is SPY going down. How did the stock react? Went up, then compressed, stayed above VWAP the whole day, still compressing. Fair enough, go down a little bit, but in relation to SPY, still pretty good. And again, goes down here, but we're mostly compressing across the board as well. So I'm interested in that one. That's what I'm interested by. And obviously a bit wary of such a nearby resistance level, because I would assume that would be an all-time high as well. So I've just activated the weekly, so Friday to Friday, so a bit of a bullish hammer, kind of cycling through the time frames. Let me just go back here and go through these time frames. But you can see maybe where we'd potentially want to add or start to enter these positions. So that is a higher low, which I like. That is a good day. So potentially could have taken a starting position here, actually. Kind of missed a chance to do so, but still could get into this one. So yeah, conscious of that. And like the volume coming in. Do we like the volume? Yeah, yes. I mean, that's a good one. It's okay. It's not exactly what I would have wanted, but it's a good start. I think it's a good start, because I'm always interested in taking starting positions sometimes. But I don't want to see too drastic of a fall. Volume's okay on CRPG, but not particularly chuffed with that, because you want stocks to get back to the 8 EMA, but the way it gets there is obviously important. Do you want a stock that kind of has jumped up but slowly kind of retraced itself back to 8 EMA, or do you want a stock that's kind of just actually fallen through the whole bloody thing and actually stayed below actually all of the EMAs, so definitely not interested in that one. Another one climbed up quite well and come back down. But what I want to see this sort of stability. I want to see a compressing nature. I don't want to see a fall off a cliff nature. So that's right. I'll go through these a bit quicker. Again, don't want to see that Sophie. That is a nice bullish hammer, isn't it? On good volume. A bit better. Look at that for a D1. Nice. Could have been a very good entry there, actually, as an initial position. So we'll see if my thesis pans out about the finance sector. Could be wrong, but happy to try different things. Sometimes I just like trying different things and experimenting a bit with trading. Above that VWAP, getting above that candle there, which is quite important. Interested. Okay, again, similar to AXP. So I might just add that one to here. And what I tend to do is make a little list of these and review them later down the line. So back up. Not a bad one. Again, not fond of fully off cliff nature. But maybe if we were getting past this point here, maybe we could be interested in taking something past that point for that one. Who knows? Set some alerts. Always like saying alerts. Here's a nice one. I want to see that above that anchor point, which it is, above the EMA, which it is. So it could be for a bounce here. So DFS definitely a good choice. Really like that actually. DFS volume starting to pick up as well. So again, looking for that potential rotation. So what we're interested in next is entry. So my 2 hours actually already triggered for LRSI, so that's interesting. So yeah, be worth watching that one actually. Cough, I think Pete pointed this one out a while ago for a trade, but still like Cough actually. Again, good volume coming in for this candle, just probably poking above that point. See, nice strong finish there. Look at that, right above that really key anchored point that we've been following for quite some time. So that's interesting, isn't it? So yeah, it could be interesting, that one. Right above it. So that's a key one to follow. So let's add Cough to that. So Cough I like. That's good one. BS, see another stock, like how do you trade that? No idea. Wouldn't know even where to begin. Invesco, God, it's a bit too much going on there for me. I want to see this. I want to see nice strong price action rising up. Again, anchored VWAP here. Could be forming that. Yeah, nice breakout, but I wonder if we've just not missed the move. It depends what you're trying to trade, but I'm trying to time my entries quite well. But actually, I do like APO. Could be a good opportunity, but trying to get those that have pulled back maybe a bit further, kind of like KKR. Actually, kind of finding that support on these levels, finding the support here, finding the support here. Yes, it got pushed down below the 8 EMA there, but 15. I keep wanting to say 21 all the time. Goes above that, so I would add KKR, and we can always review these all later. PNC, not looked at PNC before. Another one that's kind of found support there. What's that? 83 billion market cap, earnings 16th. Not bad. Not bad at all. And what I tend to do is put these into I'll show you when I get there actually. Has that found support at that level? Maybe. Not quite sure how the consumer cyclical got in there though. Again, that hasn't sorted itself out. First Horizon Corporation could be bouncing off there. Again, another one that's just kind of ticking back slowly. Volume is not bad. So that's added to our list. Ben did not make it over those. AIG finding a lot of support here, but look at those wicks on those candles. My goodness. There's some big wicks on those candles. Big wicks. Big. No, I don't really want to touch that one at the moment. Have to figure out what alert to set for that one. Wells Fargo, everyone's favourite company. Another one has that found support on here. Good Good. And again, Indac, another one. I like that one. Oh, it's a big volume candle, isn't it? Very large volume candle. I have to find out what was happening with that. Maybe we can look at our trusty news. I don't know. Can you click on it? Does it take you to the news? Nope. Just search in here. Let's see what we get. I like to just look at brief news. Now I have to look into news, see why it had such a big candle, because that is a chunky candle, but a good sign. We should add it to the list. And if we remember an Arval looking on Zenbot, that was the top one as well, wasn't it? So yeah, so that's one. This is why, actually, a good example of why I want to find those that are establishing support, because this is my concern. If we ignore, say, these three candles here, we can be like, oh, it's, this is low volume going down. Maybe we'll find, support. And if, on these ones, I could have entered here. I could be like, yes, enter there. But we don't know what these two are really key candles. They give us a lot of information. Whereas FMB, what's happened to FMB after that? Bosh down. Now it's below our anchored VWAP, and now it's below, all our EMAs. We want to take that. Now we're going to basically sell that for a small loss. So confirmation, again, really key. Really, really key. I think that's it in terms of choices. That Robinhood. TD, that was the one with earnings, wasn't it, that we noticed? Because annoyingly, obviously, with TC, you can look forward but not backwards to see what's kind of happened to those. ICE, no. XP, going the wrong way for our liking, isn't it? That is not a good D1. So I want to be interested in trading anyway. And so potentially what I'd be looking to do is I'm just going to have a quick look at 2-hour LRSI. I'm always a fan of. So I'm just looking to see what is at RSI at the moment for some of these. So that's 2, 86, 37, 100, 100, 100, and 8. So I was thinking of setting some RSI alerts basically, but potentially not worth doing. But that's kind of it really. Just what I wanted to run through was just some thinking and thinking around finance and just seeing how that goes. I'll probably look at some some of our top stocks, but not looking to do a huge amount of trading before that time kind of ends. Christmas is nearing, winding down most trades. So, that's it really. Thanks.